Calls up. I already got a call already. How you doing there, Brad?
Hey, Steve, how are you, mate?
Hey, I'm just ranting and raving just slightly today.
Good on you, mate. I just seen your internet speed. Looks pretty slow, mate.
Oh, is it? Really?
Yeah, it looks pretty slow. Is it, you having problems with it, are you?
Oh, yeah. Well, are you watching the show right now? And do you
Yep.
notice?
I've been watching, your speed test and stuff.
Oh, what are you saying about it exactly?
It's a slow. Have you been getting slow internet?
Oh, yeah. Well, I remember this like a month or two ago, and I actually went to the office. This has been happening regular, and I went up to the office and I said, is there, because I realized that they just switched their, from Charter to Cold Bridge, so it was really a name change for them, and it was probably the same people, and I was like, I know you just switched over, so maybe you guys are having problems. Is there, something going on? And they said, no, it's really just a name change for us, and it shouldn't affect the service. I'm like, okay, so, and I don't know, about 3 or 4 weeks later, I finally had the technician come over and look at it, and they're the ones that told me that. I didn't even ask. He told me, you're getting bad internet connection during this and this time. And I go, yeah. And then, he told me the whole rigmarole or whatever. So,
Well, what did he do to try and fix it, mate?
well, all he could do from his end, he tested the line. He's got one of those, I guess cable connections that test the speed and all that. And he said it was right where it should be. It was, because they have a high end, I guess, a low end. And he said mine was sitting right in the middle. So, we did a quick internet speed test, and it was showing actually was, I think, down at that particular time or whatever. But no, it might have been actually regular speed. But like I said, during those, usually get around about 5 p.m.
It's not live, it's pre-recorded. Joking, no, it's live.
Yeah, we're pre-recorded right now. That's what we're responding to. I'm just kidding there.
Yeah.
Van Key, how you doing? Just came in the show. And we're talking about evil internet service providers. Along with any other topic coming up, I guess. And, that kind of made me mad. I think it just made me mad the worst that they gave me the workaround, like, oh, nothing's wrong, and I thought something was broken, so I'm spending all this time trying to fix it, and it's probably them doing it the whole time. And at least they tell me, yeah, we're having problems, we're trying to fix them, then that would have been acceptable. But they kept on, oh, no, nothing's fine, just a name change, we're good to go. So
Okay. All right, we got John as well on Skype as well.
How you doing, John? You there?
Hi, Steve.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
It's nice to speak with you.
Oh yeah. And I talked with Brad earlier, and I've actually seen your I think your cast a few times. This has been a year or two ago, I think.
You've seen what?
Yeah, I've seen one of your I think it was video podcasts.
Yeah, Tech Conclave.
Oh, Tech Conclave.
Yeah, I seen it a couple of years ago.
Hope
I
you
think.
liked it.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. I see these people, I watch one of their videos, and then like years down the line, I'm like, hey, wait a minute, that sounds familiar, and it ends up being, I watched a certain video or whatever.
I just wish you have a lot of time, because I really like to continue it, but it seems, and it's kind of difficult to lead people from different places around the world, to report tech news, and the technology news is very time sensitive, and it's just the resources from my side are just not, I mean, I can do it, I've done it, but it's just,
it's hard.
So many limitations. So many
Yeah.
limitations. The editing. I mean, I think the basic problem that I have is the time constraints. Because just like what I said, while you're working on a video and the video is supposed to deliver news, that news needs to be delivered as soon as possible, right? Because there will be new events happening, especially in the tech world.
Yeah.
There's always something new every day.
Yeah, if you don't
And
report it, if you don't
yeah,
report it now, it's going to be something else already out. So.
old. Yeah, it becomes old the next few days or even the next day, especially when there are huge technology events or something. But yeah, I kind of enjoy doing it, and I plan to resume Tech Conclave when I have better resources from my side. Apparently, maybe a faster computer would help in the future because apparently you know what it's like to be working with videos. Oh god!
Oh my
it's, you know,
gosh, I've had
it's
my
too
own
demanding.
problems. I tell you what, because
Yeah,
forever I wanted to put my shows on YouTube, but there's just myriad of problems. You got to download them, and it's all in Flash, so you got to figure out a way to edit them. Because not every program will edit Flash, and you got to convert it, and all this conversions back and forth. I'm afraid it's going to affect quality. But now with Justin TV, you
exactly.
can upload. It uploads the show automatically to YouTube. Plus, you save on bandwidth not having to upload and download. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but yeah, I actually enjoy doing it because I tend to do everything. I just ask people to submit videos to me if they want to report a certain news topic, and I ask them, to make sure that your story is futuristic enough for me to have extra time to work in the videos. So it when I release the video, it won't be that late. And the reason why I have those marquee, I don't know, how do you call it? I forgot the specific term that they use in televisions. That little bar where all the news
Oh, the
headlines
lower
are.
third. You talking about the lower third?
I think it's the news sticker, news sticker. I think that's what I call it.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
the sticky.
You get what I mean?
Yeah, kind of like is it like a little icon
Yeah.
or whatever?
Yeah, those news headlines that keep scrolling at the bottom
yeah,
of the
yeah.
video.
Did
Yeah.
and you see a scroll in the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah, it is they are the most recent news. When I'm working on the videos and editing them, the last thing that I'll be doing is to put those most recent news headlines there to make sure that the video is still fresh,
Well,
even though we're delivering older news.
Well, even if it's kind of older, you can do your own take on it because I admit, because I try to do it on a Wednesday and I try not to upload my videos early because I want to do it on the show and then after the show I'll upload them separately. But I usually do my own take on it. That way, it's not just, though the news might be a little bit late, I'll just do my own take on, if it's good or bad or whatever. Or, I don't know, then I give the viewers what they think or whatever, but.
That's true. Yeah, that's one thing that I consider too, because I'm not really, my news is really I take it from a major source, like known technology source, and I just let's say
Oh.
disseminate or re-echo what I've read or something like that. But my goal is to present the news nicely in a way that it can teach those non-geeks, because I tend to in the video Tech Enclave, in the news report, I tend to produce a lot of animations or charts or something that explains to them what this thing is.
Yeah. Well, do you think you
Sometimes
get.
when you read tech news, when when you're not into computers and you read a specific term, I don't know. People can easily get lost, But yeah, that's my goal with Tech Enclave is to present the news nicely, that even those people not into computers can easily
okay.
understand or something.
Well, do you think yours is more geared toward, just the general audience or like beginners or.
Yeah, pretty much like a featured news feature thing.
Uh-huh. Well, I admit,
Yeah.
it seems the most like my viewers are kind of most of them seem to be, up on all this stuff, so kind of that's the way I do it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
I
mean,
never really thought about
the
it
way-
really, but
If you've watched one of my videos, you pretty much noticed that I'm pretty I stick closely to the let's say the established philosophy or standards in journalism. So what we deliver straight news there, just the facts, and absent there are the discussions, which is also vital for the community, right? Because they have it's the way that they discuss the news, they share the ideas. Yeah, but yeah, the tech enclave is pretty much can easily is comparable to uh news that we see on TV.
Uh-huh. Well, I'm guessing you kind of do it.
Except that it's not talking about Obama or something. It's talking about
Oops,
just
sometimes
plain
I slip
tech.
him in every once in a while. I know. Well, I admit, I'm guessing you sound like you kind of do it non-biasedly. I admit sometimes I don't normally do rants, which I kind of did today with my service provider. I don't normally
Yeah,
do
that's
that,
okay.
but and occasionally I've been doing some
Yeah, it's a
more political
I mean,
things, but
it's. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, if the format of your show is about opinions, then it's okay.
yeah,
But just like for example, the format of Second Clave is to deliver plain news. That if we mix opinions, our own opinions, there it becomes messy. I mean,
it'll
it
be
kind of
something different.
our facts becomes questionable.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, I
right?
see. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm trying to prevent. So we just made another show for us to share our thoughts about the topics.
Well, I think ours, my show is kind of geared toward sharing information between not just me but the viewers and our own opinions and discussing different things. So if you talk to somebody either through Skype or the chat room, you're going to tend to put your own opinions in there, and
Yeah, that's right, correct. Yeah, because especially when they are following you, people your audience could be after what you're gonna say or what you think about this thing. Is yeah, if they are your fans or if they follow you closely, your opinion or your recommendation or suggestions could have a huge impact to them. Like it could convince them to do something, to
Yeah.
follow what you've said.
Well, I
Yeah.
try to be fair. I try to give both sides. Because I admit, like, I give an
Yeah.
example between because I'm a longtime Linux user, and in the early days of Windows, I hated a lot of the stuff they did for competition, and now I think it's different, and I accept Windows as being a very important part of the tech industry. So now I kind of changed my ideas on Windows and Mac and Linux. So, give you an example. In general.
Yeah, well, I'm happy with your show. I'm surprised earlier that you mentioned me.
Yeah, yeah. I just
you.
remember, I get flashbacks of John. I'm like, no. Yeah, I've seen him before.
John, talk about the Grand Australia. What's going
Oh,
on?
he knows about it.
Oh, what's up, John and Brad? You said
Oh
something
yeah,
about.
the Grand Australia. I think he's familiar with it. You already told him about it
Grand
in the
Australia.
past. Yeah, it's my tiny quest to come into Australia one day.
Oh, wait a minute. So are you actually? Do you actually live in Australia yet, or?
I know, I know. I'm in the Philippines right now, but I've a lot of Australian friends. That's why I sound this way.
Oh, okay. So, okay, I thought you were actually living in Australia.
Oh God, I'm in the Philippines.
Oh, well, okay, okay. Okay. So you're wanting to go to Australia, live in there?
Uh, Probably working there because it becomes easier for if I were to work there and apparently to live there because you have to live there to work.
Yeah.
And yeah, it will make it easier for me to travel around the world, maybe in the US. Because pretty much if I start here in the Philippines, if I dream to come in the US one day, it's pretty long shot considering how strict, the US
Yeah.
embassy is compared to other, com- you know, compared to other embassies in other countries.
Well, you can use maybe
Pretty much
Australia as a stepping stone to
Yeah,
eventually get to
exactly.
America, or whatever. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think it will be easier that way because I have to establish myself, right? Because you, like for instance, the requirements in our embassy from even for a tourist there, your embassy requires that you really are a person who has this really stable income.
Oh yeah.
And to the Philippines, this is pretty hard because the situation here is pretty different. I mean, you could have a stable job, but that job is not necessarily giving you stable income because it's just the standards is very low when it comes to wage. We're paid per month and
Uh-huh.
not per.
Oop, oop. I'm getting a little.
Oh, what's happening?
Did somebody got the stream on, or I'm getting some echoes now. Okay, it seemed to go away, but
Yeah, it's an echo. It's okay.
I was like, what?
Echo.
Yeah.
Anyone hear me?
Yeah,
Echo. Echo.
There's no echo now.
Nah.
I mean, a regular employee here without any additions, they would usually get around 300 USD a month.
Now, well, it's not just the U.S. I know there's other countries that, obviously, I think you have to, be able. Well, I think they want to be able to support you. They don't want to, come in the country and then, automatically go on to,
Yeah.
it's just, I'm just saying in
Yeah,
general.
I understand. I understand the side of the government because apparently, they have to make sure. I mean, I've read in their website that they actually assume that every visitor that comes to the U.S. are an intending immigrant, or someone that doesn't want to go home. So that's the mindset of the embassy. So that's why we have to prove that we're going to go back home by showing that we have strong ties that will bind us to our country, that will ensure the U.S. that will go back or will return home, since we'll be entering just as a visitor. So
Uh-huh.
just having the capability to buy a round trip ticket, or to even have the money to to afford to stay there for a few weeks, doesn't guarantee that one can travel to the US as a tourist, because it's very difficult. But I understand the situation because there's
Yeah.
like economic implications when it comes to that, and it becomes the discussion becomes large.
I've got a question for you, Steve. Actually,
Yeah, what do you got?
just want to
Deborah.
get your opinion on John's new website. What do you think of him?
Now,
This whole new adventure thing.
did he change it? I don't know. I don't know if he changed it since last time I seen it. Let me check. I think I got it bookmarked. Actually, I like that picture. The one that he's in front of Australian City there. Let me see if I can find it in here. Unless he changed it. Yeah, I like that one. Is that the one?
Yeah, but that's it. Yeah, but he's not actually in that photo. He just got that off somewhere.
He photoshopped it. Oh no. Okay. I thought it was. That's cheating though. No, just kidding. That's okay. It looks cool. I like it. Yeah. Photoshop. No, just kidding.
Into Australia.
It's okay. Everybody does it. No.
Yeah. So it's just like still a dream there, that photo.
No, I liked it. I liked the way. There's some people that the things that they do that I want to do on. Now this is like Chris Ace too. When he had a show, he had one. I think it was like Chris at night or something, and it had like this city background at night, and I was like, damn, I want to do that because I want to do a new intro for my show on Saturday. I wanted something like that, but I want like a time lapse photo, going into darkness like he had. But that'd be kind of copying him. But
Yeah.
I'm tempted though, I admit. But
So yeah. So what are you going to get an iPad too, Steve?
not at this time. It's I mean, to tell you the truth, I've got so many devices already. I don't know if I can really justify. I mean, I could go out and get one. I have the money, but I don't know. I might consider getting one, either for my son, because I know he'd love to have one, and for the stuff he does, he'd probably have more use for it than I would. I admit, I would kind of like to just for as far as the technology and what you could do with it. There's it's not just a multimedia device. You could actually use it for a lot of things. People are coming up with new uses for it all the time. So
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to using the iMovie on there. I do use iMovie on my iPhone, but I think it's going to be good to use it on the iPad because you have a big screen.
yeah, that's true. Like people that use their iPhone a lot, and it'd be kind of great to be able to do the same thing, but with a bigger screen.
Yep, sure.
And I'm trying to think. Actually, I was talking about it a little bit in the pre-show. Supposedly there was now they've been making some new like estimates how it's gonna sell, and supposedly they see it possibly passing or getting like to the I think the 10 or 15 million mark by 2012 or 2015. But I think that's a little bit too far out, I think, to really go that far. But actually, I know the iPad right now is probably the most popular electronic device ever, I think, so far, from what I read somewhere. But
yeah, everyone's buying them, and yeah, it's pretty good.
And wow, it's like, and I think they even estimate it's going to surpass even the iPhone, maybe, or was it the iPhone, or I think it's going to like bypass iPhone or one of those devices anyway. I can't remember exactly what. How about John? You going to get an iPad or?
No, not really. My goal right now is to complete my fundraising so I could fly to Singapore and I could find a job there and begin. Because I will find a job there first. Because entering Australia is also a challenge, but not as hard as the US.
Hey, that gives you something to strive for. I mean, if you make it to America, you're like, it's like winning the Super Bowl or something. Or the lottery.
I mean, I have relatives there in Seattle, and actually I was invited to visit there. But still, even if they're willing to shoulder the money, but your embassy is asking me for some hard evidence, like where this money is coming from, and then they don't accept it if the money comes, comes from another person, even if a relative. I have to prove that I'm
be self-sufficient,
financially stable myself.
Yeah, be like self-sufficient. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So they can't really help me with anything. So I need to figure out a way step by step. So Singapore will be my first step, and hopefully that will happen soon.
Now, Steve, you said you've been to Australia before, mate.
Yeah. Yes. I think it was in the 1995. I think it's
long time.
Cool.
I went to Sydney. Yeah. Hey, you jealous, John? Just kidding. It's like, damn
What?
you.
Jealous, John? You jealous of Steve?
I'm like, I could see John thinking to me, damn you. You've been there at least once. Nah, I'm just kidding there, John.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
Well, I only been there once, but I think it was like 3 days. It was wonderful. Is seeing Australia.
How long was the travel?
I can't remember.
How many hours did it take?
Well, see,
Must be a long flight.
I was on a ship because I was in the military, and I think it took us like 5 days, I think, by ship.
5 days. By ship from USA direct to Australia? 5 days?
I can't remember exactly. I think it was something like that because it could have been. I can't remember if I was on a 6-month deployment, and you tend to like go different ports to visit as well.
Okay, so you're not working in the military now?
No, I got out about. It'll be 3 months or 3 years next month. I've been out, so.
Okay. I see. Cool. How long have you been in the military?
20 years. I went ahead and finished. It was hard, but
20
yeah.
20 years?
Yeah, believe it or yeah.
Wow. I mean, it's amazing.
It wasn't easy actually, but I made it. I stuck it out somehow. But.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Like you you could be deployed to anywhere, right? Anywhere in the world.
Yeah, usually, I mean, of course, you have
And be
different
away
duty
from-
stations, and actually, I
Yeah.
ended up, I was home ported. It was funny because my home port was supposed to be Mayport, Florida, on this ship, and then it turns out a year later, guess what? Your ship's moving to Japan. Ding-a-ding-a-ding-ding-ding. So we didn't have a choice in
So
the
you
matter.
have to go. You have to go with them as well.
Yeah. I guess Carlo lost internet. Hopefully it's not me. Can anybody see me out in chat land? But I don't know if it's my internet.
Do you actually get? Do you work like 7 days a week? No, or you have? Do you? I'm not sure. I don't know much about the military. I don't know if they have time to go out and.
Oh yeah, yeah.
to,
Now I don't
Yeah,
know.
you
Certain
do.
times it's like some days, especially if you're working for getting ready for an inspection, and that takes the longest time getting ready. And some days you may be working late every day. Shoot, sometimes, oh my gosh, it'd be we wouldn't get a day off.
but you still work. Is it like other jobs? Like for instance, we just go in the office like 5 days a week or something, or and then we have the weekends, to celebrate freedom from work.
It depends if you're on a ship or shore duty, and if you're on a ship also, but you're import. Usually you're import. You only do like maybe 6-month deployment, maybe once every 1 or 2 years or whatever.
Oh.
And you still go out though for short periods of time in between. But let's say you're import, and usually it's like a regular job. Usually you get, you can go off the ship, come back in the morning, and just like a regular job, and get weekends off. Now there's a few times I've probably gotten more time off than any job that you could think of, and I was
Really?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. This one time I was TAD, which means you go to this different command to work for them for a little while. And I was updating the tech library for the ship, so we had to go to this another base station. And so we'd show up and work, and then the chief would say, "We don't have anything for you," so we go home early. And then it kept on happening all the time. I was getting like time off, and I was getting like 3-day weekends. And even then, in the military, you get all federal holidays off on the most part. And one day I even got a 5-day weekend, or no, 4-day. Yeah, it was a 5-day weekend because we worked in this inspection for so long and so hard that we worked around it. We weren't legally able to do that, but we called in, and then it allowed us to do the extra days. But you'd be surprised. You can get a lot of time off, but you do spend a lot of time away from home. I've probably been to like 6-month deployments or more during my career, so it's kind of like
you really let's say in the military you really develop strong friendships with your colleagues, because they are the people who you stay together while you're working, and you're away from home, and you're just helping each other, like pretty much like a buddy system.
You can. I admit there's some people that are very hard to work with just because their personality. On the most part, it's not a problem. But there's a few people that you really don't like, but you have to work with them. It may not be. It may not be like in your same department. It may be for another department, and you have to work with him because he's in charge of this other department that you have to get parts from, or it could be
no choice.
So. Hey, how you doing? And then you're thinking to yourself, I wish I could punch you in the face. No, not really, but
it holds true as well when you're working in an office or in a
exactly.
because you don't necessarily have to like everyone, and some people are really not nice at you sometimes, and sometimes they're not too pleasing, but you have no choice but to work with them because you're like they're part of the team.
Yeah, I've met a lot of good people though. Looked up to him and
So what was
things
this
like
like? What was this like after you stopped working for the military? So was I mean, your new life. Did you like it first, or did you find it? Did you had to adapt it again or something?
I mean, I think most people do. It was. I mean, at first it was exciting. Like, well, I don't have to, I don't have to worry about getting a haircut all the time, and things like that. But you do kind of miss parts of it. You miss the travel. Well, my whole time, my 20 years in the military, it's like you kind of have like a love-hate relationship with the military. There's a lot of things you like about it and a lot of things you don't. But I admit I do miss, a lot of different parts, like the travel, especially the Navy, because you can, I think I finally sat down one day and I listed all the countries I've been to, and I think I listed about 28 countries, some more than once.
That's because of your job, right?
Yeah. So, and I get to see the different cultures. In the Philippines, I've been in the Philippines, I think 5 times, by the way.
Nice.
And
yeah, we used to have a military base here before.
Yeah.
In Clark. Yeah.
I was there when Mount Pinatubo erupted. We were there for I think it was just a few days. Yeah. And it looked like the ash looked like snow.
We actually saw in person the volcano erupting.
Now I wasn't. Of course, this was while it was still raining down ash. It was like after, and it was very weird because you go in the Philippines and obviously it's a warm country. It doesn't snow there, but it looked like gray snow because we still had ash coming down, and you could still smell. Hopefully I won't make anybody sick or anything, but you could smell the dead bodies, and I didn't actually see any, but
so it was kind of harsh volcanic. It's like a dormant. It looks like a normal hill, and then suddenly it turned out to be an active volcano because it wasn't erupting for a long time, and it just looked like an ordinary hill or something. But, then suddenly it becomes one of the largest eruption in the world that ever happened. It affected the whole Asia. The clouds.
JJ put in there, did you miss all the foreign girls? Definitely. Well, not exactly, but I don't know. I mean, I met some. I think usually when you go overseas, I usually take all the tours. I see all the good, well, at first, when I was younger, I admit I went to all the bars, and then I learned you need to stay away from the bars and go on these tours and actually visit the place you go to. And so how about yourself, you guys? I don't know if you visited outside your own country, John and Brad.